start. As many honorable members have remarked, the President's address this year has been much more than a mere formal address. It is not a mere outline of the business before this particular session or during the year. Actually, it is an urgent summons to the tasks which await us as we enter one new decade after completing another. In fact, it is something even more than this. It marks the transition from one definite stage in our economic development and political evolution to the beginning of another. Anyone who views modern Indian history with comprehension and a sense of fairness, anyone who is at all conversant with the processes of economic development knows that today the country is economically and politically stronger than it was before, and also more capable of facing the challenges with which it is confronted. In fact, at no time has there been more enthusiasm and greater self-confidence in the people of India, a greater expectation of change, and also, I would say, a greater capacity to bring about this change. The leader of the opposition, sir, has used many alternative adjectives. He has called the address, if I remember his words right, dull, dry, and so on. It is human, sir, to see the world in one's own image. The trouble with the leader of the opposition and his party is, as one honorable member said just now, that they have to listen to the voice of the people. They have ceased to notice the urge and fervor which is so evident not only to our countrymen but to the many people who have been visiting us from different countries from all parts of the globe in recent months. But they, sir, have unfortunately fallen out of step and got so far behind that they are under the illusion that there is no progress at all. The honorable member has alleged that we are, or perhaps I am obsessed with the idea of toppling state governments. I presume he has in mind Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. New, sir, Bihar is his home state, and I do not know whether he has some grievance against the ending of the governor's rule there, because that is the only government that was toppled in Bihar, and right only some little while ago I was being urged by some of the same people to end the governor's rule as soon as possible. My visits to UP were undertaken to acquaint myself with the problems of Uttar Pradesh and also to counteract the accusation made very loudly and often there that the center, and more particularly this Prime Minister and also the two preceding Prime Ministers, had been neglecting it. Now, one cannot simultaneously complain that the Prime Minister is neglecting UP and also that the Prime Minister is giving attention to UP. You have to make up your mind which out of the two you want. My purpose is going whether to UP or any other state is to tell the people about the policies of the government generally and with regard to that particular state, And I did tell the people to UP that while it is true that the state does not get all that it expects from the center, this happens to be true of all other state as well, and also with regard the central ministries. Not that they did not get it from the center because they are in the center, but they did not get all that they ask for from the planning commission or the finance ministry. All that they ask for from the planning commission or the finance ministry, as far as UP is concerned, more than half of the expense on the development plans of that state has come from the center. Admittedly, this is not sufficient to meet the needs of the state, which is one of the most economically backward in the entire country. That is why very much more has to be done, not only by the government of India but also by the state government. But the picture that is being painted here, if I may use the word, was rather a romantic one, which was perhaps because of the nature of the honorable leader of the opposition, but I do not know that picture was conjured up before the other members. But anybody who did not know the situation and who was listening to him might have got away with the impression that from the helicopter I was flying in, I was busy shooting down all the politicians who were opposed to me. The only reply that I can make to this is, if there was anybody who toppled the previous government there, it was the leader of that government himself. One of the amendments moved here speaks of totalitarian methods. That is indeed a most extraordinary statement, and it shows a certain lack of knowledge of how totalitarian governments have acted in the past or are acting today. I think it is crystal clear not only from my words but from my actions. Full stop, over.